Welcome back to Soul Whispers Tarot. I'm Karen. I'm here again with another big card reading. This reading is what are their fears to do with your connection? So it could be fears that's preventing them from coming forward, preventing them from committing, the fears that could be causing them to run away from the connection. So we're going to look really, really deeply into what's really going on with them. So we have 3 sets of cards today, and we're using the lovely Oceanic Tarot. Set of cards number 1 is the pink crystal. Set of cards number 2 is the blue crystal. And set of cards number 3 is the orange crystal. So we're going to look into the tarot, but we're also going to be pulling messages out of the bag as well. So I'll give you a few moments to tune into the energies of the cards, see which set resonates with you the most. You can be drawn to more than one set of cards. More than one may be relevant for you. So you can pause the video right now, but I'll also leave a few quiet moments as well. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So welcome to set of cards number 1. You've chosen the pink crystal. We're using the Oceanic Tarot, but we'll also be pulling messages out of the bag a little bit later as well. So what is your person fearful about your connection? Why are they running away? What is causing them to perhaps ghost you, or what's making them fearful about coming forward, really communicating, really taking the relationship further? So the first one we have is the Lovers and Choices. So for this set of cards, maybe your person is already with someone else. Maybe they have made promises to someone else, they're in another commitment, and in a way they feel quite content, they feel quite happy within the connection. Not necessarily, some of them are feeling a lot of heartache, a lot of unhappiness, but they don't want to rock the boat. I feel as though they've got used to the circumstances or the relationship that they are in. It could be, that they're not in a relationship, but there is someone else that they could potentially get into a relationship with. And it may feel easier to be with that other person because things aren't as intense, or their feelings for the other person aren't as intense. And that sounds really ironic and really sad that they may be choosing that other person, but to them it's like it seems easier because they're afraid of heartbreak. We have the 3 of Swords and it says heartache. They're afraid of being hurt, basically. And so to the ego mind, it seems safer for this person to be with someone else, or it could literally just be choosing a different path. It doesn't have to be someone else. The 3 of Swords is third party situation. It could be that they're literally choosing to bury themselves in work or whatever. And deep down it's like their ego's way of trying to protect them from getting hurt, from being open and vulnerable. They're afraid of looking inwards as well. When it comes to your connection, it seems painful to look inwards. It seems easier for them to look outwards and avoid doing the healing work, because the healing work is a painful process. It takes a lot of effort as well. So there may be kind of a little bit of them wanting an easy life, them wanting to just go with the flow of life. They may be tired of looking inwards or burnt out if they tried to do that in the past, or they may just feel very uncomfortable looking inwards, so they'd rather just live in the present moment. There's this sense that they feel like there would have to be a lot of introspection, a lot of healing taking place within your connection. Like the emotions are so intense. This could be a twin flame, like you're mirrors of each other. There's a deep spiritual catalyst, spiritual awakening that's happening. since meeting you. And I feel like they just feel really burnt out. They're afraid of heartache. They're afraid that you don't love them as much as they love you. They're afraid that you're going to leave them, is what I'm feeling, that you're going to have these other choices. They're afraid because there's competition here, the Five of Wands. They may have trust issues because the King of Pentacles in reverse says trust in reverse. So they may have trust issues. They may have been heartbroken in the past. They may have been cheated on. They're afraid that you'd get bored with them or unhappy, that you would have these other options. You may be someone that's really attractive and they may be wondering, why do you like them? And they feel like you could have anyone. So, you know, it worries them that there might be other competition in their mind. You know, this is just what's going on in their mind, you know, whether it's true or not, whether it's anything you've done to make them think that or not. A lot of times it won't be. It will be about what's happened in their past. So this person has trust issues. They struggle when it comes to being vulnerable in love because of that. And so there's a Page of Cups. I feel like this person feels much safer being in their imagination, living this connection through some kind of situationship, living it through, maybe you have a 5D connection, maybe you feel very connected to this person on the higher dimensions, because we're multi-dimensional, we exist in multiple dimensions at the same time. So I'm feeling that you're connected very deeply on the soul level, on the mental realm, emotionally. It's just in the physical, I feel like there's a separation. But on all other levels, it's like you're very much connected. And this person feels safer living the connection through thinking, daydreaming, fantasizing, or living for the future. You know, this person may be subconsciously procrastinating right now and telling themselves, or maybe even telling you, that it will work out in the future, it will work out when the time is right. And there may be an element of truth to that, because these connections are about alignment, they are about needing to heal. But there's a sense that this person just feels very burnt out when it comes to trying to manifest this reunion. It's almost as if, you know, maybe perhaps in the past you both tried to make it work. You were looking to each other, you were looking externally, wanting the relationship, but there was a need to heal on a profound level inwardly. And I feel like some of you really did work hard to heal yourselves, and this person tried to become the best version of themselves with the King of Pentacles there, but maybe they were trying to build themselves up on the outside to feel like they're a good person, good enough person, you know, a good provider. They may have been basing their sense of self-worth on their social status or their finances or external things, how they appear to other people, how they appear to society. And so they were looking in the wrong direction, or they were working on the wrong things, and they became disheartened and burnt out because things weren't manifesting in the way that they hoped. With this Page of Cups and the imagination, I'm really feeling as though perhaps they weren't fully being their true self with the trust in reverse. Maybe they were wearing masks because there's strength in reverse or stability in reverse. They felt insecure. They didn't feel strong enough being their true self. They were worried that you wouldn't truly love them or like them for who they really are. In some way, you know, even if this sounds ridiculous to you, in some way they were feeling rejected by you. Or maybe what it is they were rejecting themselves, but they were convinced that it was you that was rejecting them in those ways. Like, for example, if they had body image issues, they were assuming that you wouldn't think their body was good enough. That's just one example. If they had financial issues, and even if you didn't care about if they were broke, you know, they probably felt like they were a loser and you would see them as a loser. So things like that, things where they're judging themselves, but they're convinced themselves that you are judging them in those same ways. And so that hurts them. When they get close to you, they feel those inadequacies that are basically all in their own head, but they feel very real. It's like when they run away from you, they can kind of get away from feeling that uncomfortable pain and sadness of not feeling good enough. They may be trying to build themselves up and be the best version of themselves right now. It's almost like they're hiding away from you in some kind of way until they feel that they've achieved something that they're very insecure about. So the strength and stability in reverse, they're worried that the connection would be too unstable. This may be based on what's already happened between you, perhaps. Maybe there's been a lot of ups and downs. Maybe you've been on and off or something like that. They're worried that they're not going to feel secure within a connection. Again, I feel it's to do with this competition. They're worried that you could have anyone, you'd get bored, maybe you'd go behind their back. You know, again, this could literally just be based on what they've experienced. Maybe they're tarring you with the same brush unintentionally based on previous relationships that they've had. Maybe they can't bear to think of you being attracted to other men or other women, you know, anyone other than them. Maybe the thought of you being attracted to anyone else is very painful to them, and they wouldn't want to be in your presence and kind of see you have an attraction for someone else. Things like that. A lot of insecurities, feeling intense rejection. It's like this person's comparing themselves to other people and they feel like they don't match up. And they're just so worried that you would do something that would confirm their biggest fears, that they're not good enough. Page of Swords and gossip. So this person, they may know that you've talked about them and the connection to your friends. They may be worried that your friends see them in a bad light and that you've kind of gossiped or bitched about them. If some heartache happened or some drama or ups and downs, if they were disappointing you, if they didn't commit, if they ran away, they may be fearful that your friends see them in a bad light, or maybe when you've been annoyed at them, you've said, you've kind of joined in with that negative talk about them. Five of Pentacles, abandonment. So yeah, they're afraid of abandonment, they're afraid of rejection. This person, I feel they felt like an outsider all their life. They felt like they haven't really fit in because they're very empathic. They're a highly sensitive person. This person feels triggered very easily. Highly sensitive to any form of rejection. But a lot of the time it's their own mind, like worrying about that and thinking that's happening even when it isn't. So yeah, this is often about a separation. Someone's like in the limelight and the other person feels like the underdog, or someone's very rich and the other person feels very poor. Do you know what I mean? It could be completely different social classes, or basically this person just feels like you're out of their league. They may be worried that your friends are gossiping about that, or that your friends are thinking that you're too good for this person and that you are out of this person's league. They may be feeling embarrassed about that if they think that those sorts of things are being said or your friends are saying those things. So this person has like a poor self-image. Basically, they're creating their own loss. The Five of Pentacles, it shows a couple of people like walking away from the abundance. Someone's like in a building, the stained glass windows has the pentacles on. It's all abundance, all joyful, warmth. They're stuck out in the cold, in the snow. They've got crutches and ragged clothes, and they're walking away. Like, this person's walking away because they feel like they could never match up to you. They're afraid that they would drag you down, or they would make a fool out of themselves if they tried to make things work with you. There's the Moon and Illusion. This is the fear of going inwards. This is fear of taking that risk. You may have some kind of situationship where this person is kind of reaching out to you, or you have some kind of relationship, but it's not like a traditional commitment. They're keeping you at arm's length to keep themselves safe in some kind of way. So yeah, there's imagination, and interestingly underneath is the illusion. So again, this could be that they feel safer playing this relationship out through their imagination, through fantasies, or this could be someone that talks to you through messenger, or text or email, or it could be a long distance thing, or basically where you're not actually together in the physical, but you may be communicating in some other kind of way. They may be creating an illusion because they feel like they have to be something other than who they truly are to keep you interested. They're desperately trying to they're trying to prevent you from abandoning them, but ironically, it's like when they're not being their true self, that may mean that you have to abandon them, you have to walk away. So competition, it's like they're trying to impress you, or they're trying to compete for your attention, or wear that mask to try and feel like, or be the person that they think you want them to be. It's almost like they're living out a fantasy version of themselves with you. Like in truth, they don't have like high self-esteem at all. They have a poor self-image, and so they may be playing out some kind of fantasy version of themselves to you, and in a way it's making them feel really good because they're kind of wishing that they were really that person, and they kind of feel as though they are, but at the same time they have all these fears that are preventing them from really truly having the confidence. So yeah, the Seven of Swords, loss. Seven of Swords can be like shady behavior as well, and the Moon illusion. This person may have fears that you're going to lie to them, that you're going to run away, you're going to cheat on them. Again, this is most likely due to what's happened to them in the past. So yeah, a lot of intense fears here. I feel like this person has very deep feelings for you. With the Lovers, they feel as though your connection is divine, that you're a soulmate or something like that. But so much insecurities here. Let's look into these messages here. Trying to look strong. So yeah, this person is trying to hide their emotions, or they're trying to fake stability or confidence. I feel like they're incredibly insecure, and they're ashamed of that. They're embarrassed by that. They see you as someone who's confident, and they believe you would want someone who's equally as confident, and they just don't feel it. And so they're trying to fake it. But they may feel like they have to keep a distance in order to keep up the pretense. because they're so worried that if you saw their insecurities up close, that you would be really turned off by them and abandon them. This person really needs to work on themselves a lot. Longing. They are longing for you. I feel like the longing scares them sometimes though, because they feel like they need you too much. I feel like this person's obsessing about you. It's almost like, you know, if you are a mere mortal and someone was a celebrity and they just think that they would never live up to the celebrity, or something like that. They're longing for you so deeply. And they may be even like spying on your social media, being quite obsessive. Maybe trying to see if there is any competition, you know, what's going on in your life. Have you met someone else? They're worried about you having other choices. Some of you, you may be in another relationship. They're afraid that you won't choose them if they come forward at this time. But they're really, really longing for you right now. But it scares them because when they're longing for you, they are feeling obsessive. They're constantly thinking about you. They're always in a place of fear and anxiety, and it's just like eating them up so much. So some of them, they may have run away because the longing was just too intense and it really frightened them. Like they put so much pressure on this connection, on themselves as well. Trying to impress you. So yeah, that's what I was saying, wearing masks, trying to impress you. They're not being their true selves. It's like that story of Aladdin that I've mentioned a few times, where he gets the genie to make him appear to be a prince so that he can impress Princess Jasmine and marry Princess Jasmine. But she just needs him to be his true self. But he, you know, he just doesn't feel good enough, but he creates more trouble for himself and for their relationship by lying and not being his true self. So this person is trying to impress you and trying to look strong. It may be even that they're having a poker face and not expressing their emotions, because I feel like they're embarrassed to be longing for you and feeling like they need you as much as they do, just in case, you know, you're gossiping about them or you don't like them or love them as much as they do you. Infinite bond. So yeah, I feel like this is a soulmate or twin flame connection. A lot of these fears are coming up from past lives as well. So that's why the fears are so intense. Stuck in illusion. Wow, we have illusion here. So, wow, this is what Spirit is saying to me. They're stuck in illusion. They've been trying to impress you, trying to look strong. They've been trying to wear a mask, and they feel like they have to keep a certain distance, otherwise the mask is going to slip and you may be really uninterested or really unhappy with the real them. And so they feel like they have to kind of stay stuck in that illusion that they've already created, because they also feel that if they confess and be their true self, you'll be annoyed at them and they may lose you. So they don't know what to do, is what I'm feeling. So I really hope this has resonated with you. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications. That will notify you every time I release a new reading, which is about every other day at this time. So thank you so much, and I'll move on to the next set of cards. So welcome to set of cards number 2. You've chosen the blue crystal, which goes really perfectly actually with this Oceanic Tarot. We're also going to be looking at the messages from the bag as well a little bit later. Okay, so what is this person's fears when it comes to your connection? What's blocking them from coming forward? This could be, what has caused them to run away or ghost you or block you or anything like that. So there's a Hanged Man, and it's called Limbo in this deck. So I feel like this person is afraid that your connection is going to keep stagnating, because I feel this connection is about the energetic dynamic. There's something about your connection that keeps going in circles. There is conflict next to it, the Five of Swords. So maybe you've had a lot of arguments, or maybe this person has a lot of internal conflict. Their mind is very confused. They may have this inner conflict between head and heart, like their heart wants to be with you, but their head is afraid. Their head is afraid of rejection, or they may have a lot of conflict going on in their life and they're afraid of dragging you into that. Or that there may be some kind of drama involved with you two coming together. Maybe there's opposition, people who don't agree with your connection for whatever reason. And so they're afraid that this isn't going to get resolved. They're afraid that whatever blocks are standing in your way at this time from you two being together is not going to be overcome. And so there's this sense this person feels like they have to hold back right now, or literally they may have to if there's a physical distance, or it could be something to do with, lockdown at this time as well. But I feel like it's more than that. This person may have a tendency to push you away, or maybe they feel like you push them away, even though that may seem totally ridiculous to you. Maybe in some subconscious way you have pushed them away. It could literally be, if we try and overgive and give and give, it can subconsciously or indirectly give the message to the other person that we don't trust in their capability to be a good provider, so we do all the work. It could be something like that for some of you, where they feel that you just don't truly believe in them, and that doesn't make them feel good about themselves. They don't feel like they're a good provider, and so they don't want to come forward because they don't feel good enough. They feel like they would disappoint you. So some kind of conflict, whether it's mentally or externally or both, is blocking them and keeping them stuck in limbo, keeping them overthinking things right now. Eight of Pentacles in reverse, or achievement in reverse. So yeah, I feel like this person, they're either worried about putting in the work just in case it doesn't pay off, just in case it doesn't work out. Or they have, whether you realize it or not, they have tried to put the work in, but it's just not manifested in the way that they hoped, and so they feel like a failure. They either feel like a failure or they're afraid that they're gonna be a failure in this connection. So they may be burying themselves in work, or this person may have a tendency to be kind of like a perfectionist. They may feel like they need to have all their ducks in row before they come forward. But I feel like that's an unrealistic expectation that they're placing upon themselves. Or maybe it could be for some of you, you've got high expectations of them, whether you've, discussed them with them or not. This person may feel that you've placed a lot of your happiness on their shoulders, or you have a lot of expectations that you're wanting them to fulfill, and it's making them worry that they're not going to live up to that and they're going to disappoint you and you're going to reject them. So Knight of Cups in reverse, or proposals in reverse. This person's afraid of coming forward and expressing their emotions. They may have a fear of commitment, because they may be on the fence. This may be someone that finds it very difficult to make important decisions in their life. Like they're very worried that they're going to make the wrong decision and then be stuck with that decision. I feel like this person may have experienced previous relationships where they really like lost themselves in the relationship. Like they weren't happy, but they didn't know how to get out of the relationship. And so, you know, that could be romantically, it could be friendships, or any kind of relationship where they just didn't know how to stick up for themselves. Someone was really dominating and they were afraid to speak up and be their true self. So they may have a fear as a consequence of that, of losing themselves in a relationship, and so they're overly cautious. This person's overthinking about how they can come forward and express themselves. Temptation, the vortex. So this is the devil card traditionally, which does mean fears and temptation and, you know, the inner demons, the inner fears that control us. So temptation. They may have a fear that you're going to be tempted to be with someone else or cheat on them or something like that. Again, it could be based on what's happened to them in the past. I feel like their ego is just tempted by this connection in some kind of way, like that you have. It could be that you make them feel like they're on cloud 9. And so they're really just sort of milking that in some kind of way. Like it's going to their head or something. But that's getting them more in their ego rather than in their heart. It could be that this person is afraid of commitment, so they have a history of being kind of like a player, and they're worried that if they got with you, then they would run away and like cheat on you, perhaps. You know, it could be addictions. Maybe they have any kind of addiction, and they're afraid that that would destroy your relationship. And so they may be keeping their distance, trying to figure out how to heal those addictions, because they don't want to drag you down into whatever drama's going on within their life. So there's a Page of Pentacles in reverse, or opportunity in reverse. So they may feel as though they missed out on an opportunity already. And I think it's to do with they were being called to come forward and express themselves. The proposals, you know, it's like taking your connection to the next level. They were fearful of that, and perhaps they were tempted elsewhere because that was their ego's way of trying to protect them by running away from getting really hurt by you and this connection. So they may have been tempted to go with someone else where they didn't feel as much emotionally. You know, they may have had a lot of attraction for the other person, but it was more of a surface level thing. And now they're regretting it, because like once they've got this distance from you, or you've walked away from them, now they're no longer feeling that intense pressure to take that leap of faith with you, reach out, make a deeper commitment, express their truth, because, you know, they took space, they ran away, they're no longer feeling the pressure of needing to do that as much. And so ultimately that gave them the time and space, and they've started to miss you again, and then they're realizing that really didn't work. Like running away or running into someone else's arms, running for comfort in someone else, has not worked in the long run. They may have realized they didn't have the courage to come forward and be with you. So in order to try and lick their own wounds or comfort their own pain from that, they may have run to someone else, into another relationship, to soften the blow. They may have even tried to convince themselves that they could be happy with this other person, where they wouldn't have to put in as much work or take a risk because their emotions aren't as strong for that other person. But they now feel like they missed out on an opportunity with you, and they're really worried that if they come forward, there's going to be conflict. You're going to be like, no way, you're going to reject them. And so that's why they're in limbo as well. They may feel like they could have achieved something with you, that potential that was there, and they missed that opportunity. They didn't take that opportunity. They took you for granted. There's the Nine of Pentacles, or gratitude in reverse. So they took you for granted. They may have felt like you would still be there for them when they ran away. But this time, many of you walked away because it was like the final straw. Nine of Pentacles, interesting. This is often the card about independence, or the Bachelor card. So this person may have had a fear of losing their bachelor. Can't say that word. They wanted to remain single, or even if they ran to be with someone else, they weren't really taking that other relationship seriously. So they may have had that fear again about losing their freedom, losing themselves in a relationship. And because ironically they feel like you are the one for them, they know that that would kind of be like their final relationship, or this would be it kind of thing, the real thing. And they'd have to kind of be mature, they'd have to grow up in order to keep that relationship going. And they had fears that they wouldn't be able to do that, or they weren't ready for that. So Queen of Cups, or sensitivity in reverse. I feel like they're afraid that you're going to be insensitive. You're no longer got your heart open for them. You're no longer going to be receptive. You're going to be insensitive. You're going to be closed down. You're not going to accept the offer that they want to give to you. Knight of Pentacles, loyalty. So yeah, they're afraid that you're not going to accept their offer. I feel like they're going to try and prove to you their loyalty. Their heart is loyal to you. They're going to try and prove that they're going to put in the work. Knight of Pentacles, this is like the slowly but surely card. Someone who's planting the seeds, someone that wants to do things right. They're worried that you don't trust them anymore because of a sense of disloyalty perhaps in the past. They're afraid that this is the Queen of Swords in reverse, or resilience in reverse. They're afraid that it was the final straw for you, that you've cut the ties. They're afraid that this connection isn't resilient, it's not strong enough to have overcome whatever's happened. So let's look into these messages in the bag. Hoping and praying. They're hoping and praying for a second chance. They're hoping and praying that you can still be together. You can work things out. They're hoping and praying for a reconciliation. But they're like, oh, I don't want to come forward just yet, because I don't want to be heartbroken. If you're going to be that Queen of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse, basically telling them to F off. Lessons in self-love. So yeah, whatever's happened, it's caused you both to learn a lot, to do with self-love. I feel like you learned how to have healthy boundaries. You learned how to honor your own needs and not sweep things under the rug anymore. You learn how to put yourself first. This person has learned a lot about why they ran away, and it's because they didn't have enough self-love. They didn't feel worthy enough for this true love that you have. Oops, one's fallen out. Lost without you. They feel they're missing you so much. They feel really lonely. They don't feel themselves without you. If you're a soulmate or twin flames, then they literally feel as though a part of their soul is missing. And they're really regretting their fears and, you know, running away because of fear, or being dictated by fear, missing the opportunity, trying to impress you. So they may be trying to get in your good graces again. Their way of running away may have been literally to do with that temptation, being wearing a mask, the ego getting caught up in feeling like this better version of themselves, because you saw them in a really good light. You saw them as someone who was really amazing. You put them on a pedestal. That made them feel like really special in your eyes, and that made them feel really good about themselves. So they may have tried to milk that, play up to that even more, to the point where they were tempted into the ego, you know, wearing that mask in a really massive kind of way and not being their true selves. So, you know, it may not have been for some of them that they ran away to be with someone else. It may have literally been they ran away with their ego, trying to impress you. Crying. Wow. So they're literally crying. They're really upset about what's happened. They feel lost without you. They're trying to get back in your good graces. They're hoping and praying for a second chance for this reconciliation. So I hope this has resonated. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. Thank you so much, and I'll move on to the next set of cards. So welcome to set of cards number 3. You've chosen the orange crystal. So what is this person really afraid of in your connection? What's blocking them from coming forward? What's causing them to run away or ghost you or block you, or just being afraid of expressing how they really feel? So there's the Nine of Wands to begin with, and it's called Defense. This is the Oceanic Tarot. So this is the Wounded Warrior card. This is someone who has a lot of walls up, feels very defensive in general. This person feels like your connection is threatening to them. But, you know, don't take that personally. I feel as though this person feels threatened in life in general. Like this person is afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to have their guard down. I feel like this person has been under attack a lot in their life. It could be that they were bullied. It could be that they had narcissistic relationships, toxic relationships. It could be family where they were used and abused, manipulated, anything like that. A lot of drama. This person learnt to protect themselves. It's hard for them to let their walls down because they kind of assume the worst, is what I'm feeling. The second card is Justice and Balance. I feel like they're fearful of your connection because you're demanding balance, you're demanding equality, you're wanting that. You have that sword of justice, you're willing to fight for that. You may have had some conflicts with this person. Or, you know, it may be because Justice, she's holding the scales. You may be trying to stick up for this person. You may be trying to help this person to create their own justice, to fight for themselves, to stand up for themselves. You know, you may be really kind of trying to push this person to be the best version of themselves. You're trying to help liberate this person, but this person doesn't know how to help themselves. So they're kind of pushing you away because you're trying to like get them out of their comfort zone, and they don't know how to do that. This could be a codependent kind of dynamic where you're in a place of balance, you're like the nurturing energy, and they're the defensive, the hurt, the wounded, and you're, you know, trying to help them. You may be a little bit overly forgiving or accepting a lot of what you shouldn't be accepting, maybe brushing a lot of things under the carpet that you need to create some healthy boundaries against yourself. You know, this person has defenses up, you know, walls, barriers. They don't allow anything in. They don't allow negativity. They don't allow love in. Whereas I feel you need to create healthy boundaries that allows the good in, but, you know, says no to the not so good. Be careful you're not enabling this person. They need to grow on their own, is what I'm feeling. They don't know how to come out of their comfort zone. The best way to inspire this person out of their comfort zone is for you to take space, and they'll feel that magnetic pull towards you. But if you're trying to pull them, they'll be in a place of resistance because they need to do it on their own. They need to make that decision for themselves and do it for themselves in order to really learn that soul lesson of having their own healthy boundaries. So the world in reverse and regeneration in reverse, they're afraid that you've taken space to the point of completely walking away from them. They're afraid that your connection isn't going to regenerate. The world is the final card in the major arcana, so they're worried it's like the complete ending. There's a 10 of Cups in reverse or completion in reverse as well. They're afraid that the completion, the conclusion of your relationship is that it didn't work out. Because they have wanted that 10 of Cups, which is the happy relationship, having the family, the relationship, the children, the home, having everything, complete emotional fulfillment within a romantic relationship. They're afraid that the conclusion or the completion is they missed that opportunity because of their defensiveness. They're really hoping for a new beginning. Here's the Fool, and it's called New Beginning. They want to take that leap of faith. They're hoping for a new beginning, but they're afraid of taking that leap of faith. They see you as someone that's very strong and balanced. The 2 feminine and 3 feminine cards here. Justice, very balanced with the scales. The Sword of Truth, honesty. You can express yourself. You're emotionally balanced. You're the Fool here, the mermaid. You aren't afraid to take a leap of faith, be bold, be courageous. You're also the High Priestess, the infinity symbol, very balanced again. You hold the Torah or the scroll here. It's often like the book of life. You're very wise. You have deep intuition. They feel out of their depth. They literally feel like they're being thrown in the deep end. 6 of Wands in reverse, or success in reverse. They're afraid that they're not going to be successful. They're afraid that you're going to see them in a bad light, or maybe you already do see them in a bad light now. If you had to walk away, they're afraid that they've fallen off the horse. They've fallen from grace. You know, their pedestal has crumbled, the one that you'd put them on. Their defensiveness may have literally been a mask, because the 6 of Wands in reverse can be about worrying too much about what people think of them. This person may have tried to appear strong, may have tried to appear like the warrior kind of energy. They thought that hiding their emotions would make them more attractive. Maybe they felt like their sensitivity was unattractive and would turn you off. Maybe they felt like the reason you were attracted to them was because they were emotionally unavailable and you enjoyed the thrill of the chase or something like that. They may have fears that if they give in and let you have them, you get bored. Because there's boredom here. Four of Cups in reverse. They're afraid that you'd get bored if you had them completely. Four of Swords, recovery. They're hoping this connection can recover from the lack of success. There may have been injustice in the past. Walking away. You may have taken a new beginning by walking away. They're hoping there can be recovery from heartbreak, because the Four of Swords obviously comes after the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is the card with the heart. Pierced by the Three Swords, heartbreak, heartache. They're hoping for recovery. Ace of Wands, passionate new beginning. It's called growth. They're hoping for that regeneration, the growth of your connection. They're hoping there can be a reconciliation, a new beginning. Four of Cups, it is called boredom, but often it's about a missed opportunity as well. In reverse, it's saying they now, they don't want to miss this opportunity again. Maybe they feel like they missed the opportunity, so now they're severely kicking themselves, but that's inspired them to take that leap of faith. Let's look into these messages in here. Speak to me. Yeah. So they're hoping you're going to give them a second chance. They're waiting for you to contact them. They're hoping that you're going to speak to them again. You may have blocked them or something like that. High Priestess, that is over with the intuition. So they're hoping you're still going to have an open heart. You're going to follow your intuition rather than pride or anger. You're incredible. So yeah, they see you as incredible. They felt like they had to try and live up to you because they didn't feel good enough. But ultimately, they worried with this card under here, the Six of Wands in reverse and success in reverse. They didn't feel like a successful person, so they tried to put on a front of being successful or confident or whatever they thought you wanted them to be, and then that illusion crumbled. They're afraid they've fallen into your bad books. I feel too much for you. So this person was afraid of heartbreak, basically, abandonment or rejection. They may have been used to feeling in control in their life. And when they met you, they couldn't control their feelings anymore, because your connection has been a catalyst of an awakening, I feel, for this person. So they felt emotionally all over the place. They tried to hide that because they felt like it was a weakness. They didn't want you to know how much they felt for you in case you had the upper hand or you took control of them in some kind of way, like people have done in the past who have used and abused this person. So this person's always tried to stay in control or appear to be in control. And they may have had to keep a distance to keep up that pretense. Taken for granted. So they know that they took you for granted. They may have felt like you would always be there for them. But their biggest fear is being taken for granted themselves by you. I feel like people have definitely taken them for granted in the past. People have got bored of this person, and that's why they were cheated on and things like that. And so they're afraid of that happening again. They're afraid of investing their heart 110% in you, and then you're getting bored and leaving them or cheating on them or something like that. Even if that sounds ridiculous to you, like you would never do that, this person has had a bit of a messed up background is what I'm feeling. Infinite bond. So yeah, they feel this infinite bond with you. That's, to me, an indicator of a soulmate or twin flame connection here. And that is why the fears are so intense, because there's a lot of triggering, there's a lot of awakening, a lot of stuff coming up to the surface. So I hope this has resonated. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and tap the bell icon and turn on all notifications. That will notify you every time I release a new reading, which is about every other day. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.